Hi everyone, welcome to Live Stream Yoga with Louise, tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on the mat. Today's yoga practice is all about finding your inner joy, serenity, happiness, cutting loose, letting go from all the bonds that tie you down and just being a little bit free and spontaneous in the class. As always, have fun with the movement, move within your range of motion and modify if you need to. You ready to play? Let's hit the mat. We're going to set up for today's class in a kneeling frame in Thunderbolt, either giving me a high kneel and placing some padding underneath your knees so that you can hold this position for a couple of minutes, or you can bring your knees together, your feet together, and sit back in Thunderbolt. If this feels uncomfortable, maybe reaching for a block, opening up the knees, feeding the block through, and finding a seat on the block. You could always also come to a cross-legged seated position if you prefer. Find the seat that works for you. Tuck your tailbone under, pull your belly button in, and give me a nice lengthened spine. We're going to play with a little bit of breath work just to find that inner connection before we get started. You're going to take the heel of your palm and you're going to place it over the heel of your eyebrow. Close your eyes, take your focus in, and place your palms over your forehead with the heel of your hand on the heel of your eyebrow. Allow the fingertips to just gently cup over the crown of your head. Take a big breath in and think of softly pulling the skin over your eyebrows up towards the ceiling. On an exhale, softly tug the skin down towards your cheeks and let go of that pressure on your fingertips on the top of your head. Gently inhale and pull up. Exhale and tug down. Inhale to gently pull up. Exhale to pull down. Get into a rhythm of your own. Every time you pull up, think of connecting to a gentle inner smile. On the exhale, as you pull down, softly allow your fingertips to press on the crown of your head. Inhale to let go of that pressure and gently pull up towards the ceiling. Get into a breath pattern that works for you. Allow your thoughts to drift, but don't hold on to anything. Try to take your focus internal and start connecting to your breath and your body. For the next 45 minutes, just let go of any other external stresses and just focus on being present. Gently open the eyes and come to a high kneeling frame on your mat. Interlace the hands. Take a big breath in, invert the hands and float them overhead, taking a wiggle out through your hips. Come down in active prayer, pushing into both hands and stopping with your hands just in front of your heart. Take a soft rotation to the left. Inhale, come back to the center line. Take a soft rotation to the right. We're going to rinse and repeat that sequence. Interlace the hands, invert them, take them overhead. Wiggle out through all the tension in your hips and your pelvis. Come down in active prayer, pushing softly into the hands, engaging the arms, chest, upper back, and shoulders. Take a big breath in. On an exhale, give me a soft rotation to the right. Inhale, bring it back to the center line. Exhale as you rotate to the left. Inhale, come back to the center. Big inhale in as you float the hands overhead, finding your wiggle and your release. Beautiful, soft, lazy smile as you start connecting to all those kinky spots in the body. Bring it back down along the center line. Exhale and take a soft rotation to the left. Inhale, bring it back to the center. Exhale, take it over to the other side. Come back to the center line. Big breath in. Fill your lungs to capacity and work through all those knots in the body. Bring it back down along the center line. Find that connection through your hands. Big breath in. On the exhale, take a soft twist to the right. Inhale, bring it back to the center. Exhale and take a soft twist to the left. Inhale and bring it back. You're going to find your way into a 4-point kneeling frame on the mat, setting yourself up more or less in the middle of your mat. Fingertips open nice and wide, lots of space between them, hands stacking softly underneath your shoulders with your knees underneath your hips. Start in a tabletop line with your belly button softly pulled in and engaged. Take a big breath in and give me a concave shape as you find cow, taking your chin and your bum bones to the ceiling, but keeping your belly button softly pulled in. On an exhale, round out and find cat. Giving you a nice stretch into the shoulder blades and the lower back and almost pushing the mat away with your fingertips. Inhale and come back to a tabletop line. On an exhale, keep that tabletop line and peep over your left shoulder. Inhale to come back towards the center line. Exhale and peep over the right shoulder. Inhale, find your way back to the center. Give me that little concave shape as you find your cow. On an exhale, round out. Feel that beautiful stretch. Let go of the tension in your body. Inhale to find your way back to neutral. Exhale to peep over the left shoulder, keeping the belly button softly pulled in, and give me a gentle smile. Inhale, come back towards the center line. Keep your tabletop line. Exhale and peep over the right shoulder. Keep the belly button softly pulled in as you find your gentle smile. Come back towards the center line, and on an inhale, find your cow. Exhale to round out as you find your cat. Inhale, come back to a neutral tabletop line. And on the exhale, hold that table as you peek over your shoulder and give me a naughty little smile. Inhale, come back towards the center line. Keep your tabletop. Exhale and gently peek over the right as you find your inner child. Let's do one more. Inhale as you find your cow, or exhale as you find your cat. Round out. Inhale, find a neutral line. Exhale to peep and smile on the left. Inhale, bring it back to the center. Exhale, give me a soft peep over the right shoulder and find your smile. Come back towards the center line and find your way into a gentle child. Big toes softly floating together, knees open nice and wide. Extend the arms out in front and think of gently connecting your forehead to the mat. You could put a block underneath your head if you need to. Take a big breath in, and on an exhale, hold your child frame but float or rotate through the hands so that your palms are looking up to the ceiling. And give me a wiggle and a release into the shoulders as you find a gentle smile. Reconnect your palms to the mat and float up into a down dog frame, tucking your toes under and piking your bum up to the ceiling. Take it into blissful dog, Svananda, by giving me a soft rotation through the knees and the hips so that you almost resemble a dog wagging its tail. Keep your belly button softly pulled in as you find your release, and then ease into your down dog shape and hold it, pushing into both hands and feet simultaneously, piking your bum softly up to the ceiling. Find your way into a plank line from your down dog. Push the floor away with your hands, nice and strong as you find your plank, and then modify your Chaturanga by bending and coming down onto the knees, relaxing your feet, bending through the elbows and swooping down to find your way into the belly. As soon as your belly is connected to the mat, slide out one hand at a time, coming into Sphinx pose, and pushing the floor away with your palms, your forearms, and your elbows. Take a gentle peek over your left shoulder. Give me a soft smile. Come back to the center and repeat on the right. As you find your long length through your Sphinx, you're going to ease back into a puppy frame. Think of gently bending through the knees and creeping your hands back so that you can connect your chin and your chest to the mat, keeping the forearms heavy into the mat and your bum piked softly up to the ceiling. Then creep back further still, finding your way back into child pose. As you sink into your child, take a big breath in, and on an exhale, rotate through the forearms and the palms so that your hands are looking up to the ceiling, and find your gentle smile. Let go of any tension in the shoulders. Give me a wiggle and a release if you need it. Gently reconnect your palms to the mat and find your way into your down dog frame. As you find the frame, play through the knees and the hips. Keep it soft, keep it spontaneous. Celebrate the joy that is life. As you settle into your down dog frame, push into both hands, push into both feet, work the front and the back chain of the body, and release any tension into the mat. Think of it sliding down the arms and the legs, and surrender it to the mat. Ease your way into a plank line, body line nice and parallel to the floor. Push the mat away with your hands. And then drop softly down to the knees. Bend through the elbows and swoop down into the belly. As you connect to the floor, slide the hands one at a time forward and connect your forearms and your elbows to the mat, finding Sphinx. Lengthen through the spine. Take a gentle look over your right shoulder. Inhale and come back towards the center line, and gently exhale as you peep over the left, finding your gentle smile as you start releasing tension from the body. Find your way back towards the center line, pushing through the forearms and the elbows as you find length through the spine. And then creep your way back into puppy. Think of bending softly through the knees and creeping your forearms and elbows closer towards your body line as you walk back into the mat. Think of a little puppy or a cat taking a stretch in the warm sunlight. Find your inner smile as you find a beautiful stretch through the shoulders, connecting your chin and your chest to the mat and piking that bum up, belly button softly pulled in the whole time. And then when you're ready, creep the weight even further back and ease back into a relaxed child pose, Balasana. As you settle into your child, take a big breath in, and on the exhale, rotate through the forearms and allow the palms to peek up to the ceiling as you find a gentle internal smile and let go of any tension, wiggling and releasing through the trunk and the shoulders if you need to. Keep the movement soft, spontaneous, and just move where you need to. Rotate and firmly plant your palms back into the mat. We're going to work that flow one more time. Come through 4-point kneeling and ease your way into a down dog. Move through the knees and the hips. Still your dog. Find that release of tension as you push softly into the palms and the feet, and think of all the tension leaching from your limbs and surrendering into the mat. Keep your belly button softly pulled in as you pike that bum up to the ceiling. And then gently transition and flow your way into a plank line. You're feeling tense, maybe swaying back and forth until you've found your midway point and you can push the mat away with your hands. Bend through the knees and modify your Chaturanga, bending through the elbows but keeping them hugging in towards the ribs as you drag the weight forward over your wrists. Once the belly connects, slide your forearms and your elbows forward Stack your elbows underneath your armpits and gently open up through the hands as you find your Sphinx. Take a big breath in, and on an exhale, softly peek over that left shoulder. Find your lazy smile. Inhale and bring it back towards the center line. Exhale and softly peek over the right shoulder. Inhale to come back towards the center line. Push softly through the forearms and give me as much glorious length through the spine as you can manage. You're going to creep your way back into a puppy line, softly bending through the knees, creeping back through the forearms until you find the frame that works for you. Think of gently pushing through the forearms, trying to connect the chin and the chest to the mat as you pike your bum up to the ceiling, keeping the belly button softly pulled in. And then ease your way all the way back into your child. As you find your child, take a big breath in, rotate through the forearms and allow the palms to gently smile up to the ceiling. Reflect that smile internally. Gently reconnect your palms to the mat and slide your knees forward, finding your way back into a kneeling frame, either keeping your knee high with some cushioning underneath your knees if you need it, or sitting back into your thunderbolt. As you find your seat, give me a tiny tuck of your tailbone, pull your belly button in and lengthen through the spine as you drop the hands, palms down on your thighs and just find a soft internal release. Stay here or gently float the hands behind you and try to connect the fingertips to the mat, maybe gently walking the weight back, dropping down through the shoulder blades and opening up your chest to the ceiling as you find a beautiful, gentle smile. If you can't connect to the floor behind you, maybe just sitting up nice and tall and floating the arms behind you. If you're working from a kneeling frame, just give me a soft aeroplane arm and see if you can gently arc through the back to peek up to the ceiling. Take a big breath in and gently rotate to the left, floating your right arm up to the ceiling and peeking to the floor behind you as you find a gentle smile. Come back towards the center line and repeat on the other side. Take a big breath in and find your twist. If you're modifying, maybe gently floating the hands into a soft T-like frame and just playing where you're comfortable. Inhale and come back towards the center line. We're going to find our way into a mermaid frame, leading with the left leg in front. Slide the left leg out from underneath you, lining up the knee and the ankle, more or less in a straight line so that it mimics the front edge of your mat, and tuck the back knee, the right knee, into the sole of your left foot. Sitting up nice and tall as you find your mermaid, take a big breath in and float your left hand to the floor, slide it along the mat and think of just softening through the elbow and the forearm as you gently arc the right arm overhead. Inhale and come back towards the center line. Take a big breath in, connect that left hand to the mat, slide and relax through the elbow and the forearm as you gently arc the opposite hand overhead. Come back towards the center line. Let's do that one more time. Find your slide, find your softening and your release through the forearm and the elbow. You don't need to connect them to the mat, just make them heavy and find the arc that works for you. Inhale to bring it back. Take a big breath in and on an exhale, softly rotate to the left, bringing the right arm over to either cup hold of your left thigh or maybe placing both sets of fingertips on the floor. Inhale and bring it back to the center. Exhale and twist one more time. Just keep your mermaid frame soft. As you play, we're going to open up progressively. Exhale and find your twist. Inhale and come back. Rinsing and repeating, or taking your twist a little bit further. This time, as you twist, see if you can lean back a little bit further, placing your fingertips on the mat, almost as if you wanted to kiss the floor, and then floating back to your start position. Big breath in, fill your lungs to capacity and lengthen through the spine. On an exhale, twist, reaching for the floor, pushing through your fingertips, almost giving me little spider fingertips. One more time. Exhale and take that gentle twist. Come back towards the center line, take a big breath in, and this time as you twist, allow the back foot to come up off the floor and bring your chest closer to the floor. Inhale, come back towards your center line. Exhale, we're going to do that twice more. Just finding a gentle twist and a release, playing with the movement and having fun with it. Don't overthink it. Come back towards the center line and float into a butterfly line. Soles of the feet together. As you find your bind, gently creep your bum closer towards the heels of your feet. Use your elbows to push on the inner thighs and just softly round out and find a wiggle and a release through your shoulders as you ease into Badakonasana Butterfly. You're going to gently sit up, holding your butterfly line. Make sure that you've got enough runway on the mat behind you. We're going to roll it down from butterfly. If you need to, you can place the soles of the feet on the mat and just modify your movement. Just think of softly rounding out through the spine, looking down towards your belly button and peeling down to the mat. As you connect to the mat, find a comfortable neutral spine position, holding your butterfly line, or placing the soles of the feet on the mat, feet and knees hip-width distance apart. Place your hands palms down over your belly and allow them to connect to your lower rib cage. Close your eyes, take your focus in. Take a big breath in, and on the inhale, balloon your lower belly out towards the ceiling and allow the rib cage to expand laterally. On the inhale, allow the ribs and the belly to fall in towards the mat, almost giving me a hollow frame. As you inhale, balloon the lower belly out. Feel the lower ribs expanding laterally. As you exhale, allow the lower ribs and the belly to sink in towards the mat. Find a breath ratio that works for you. 1 to 2 is good, with your exhalation being a little bit longer than your inhalation, preferably. Let's do one more gentle belly breath. Then gently open your eyes. Float your butterfly feet up, reaching for the ankles, and roll up. Coming back into your butterfly line, place the fingertips on the mat behind you and gently scoot your bum closer towards your heels and find a gentle smile as you fold forward, almost nodding your nose to your toes. Gently peel up, sweep the legs up underneath you and find your kneeling frame coming into Thunderbolt. Sitting up nice and tall in Thunderbolt, or giving me a kneeling frame, you're going to take a big breath in and float the hands behind you, trying to creep them back and connecting to the floor behind you. Almost making the shoulder blades heavy towards the center line as you open up through the ribs and the chest, smiling beautifully up at the ceiling. Take a big breath in, and on an exhale, rotate softly to the right. Float your left arm up to the ceiling, modifying the movement if you're working higher up off the floor. Inhale and float back towards the center line, filling up on an inhale. On an exhale, take a gentle smile and a rotation to the left. Inhale to come back and set up your beautiful little mermaid line, leading this time with the right leg in front. knee and ankle more or less in a straight line. Clip the back knee into the arch of the front foot. Take a big breath in, and on an exhale, place your right palm on the mat beside you or the floor, and then run the hand away from you as you make the forearm heavy and arc over with the left hand. Come back towards the center line. Big breath in. Slide the right hand away. Make the forearm and the elbow heavy towards the mat as you find a gentle arc. Let's do that one more time. Give me a nice little ujjayi exhalation as you come over. Take a big breath in, and on an exhale, softly rotate to the right. Cupping on the outside of the left thigh, or placing both sets of fingertips on the floor. Inhale to come back. Give me a beautiful lengthened spine every time you come back to the center line. Exhale and work your twist. Inhale to come back. One more, then we're going to change it up. Inhale, come back towards the center line. This time, twist a little bit further back, placing your fingertips on the mat and almost bringing the chest closer to the floor. Inhale to float back along the center line. Find your smile as you work that rotation. Modify your movement if you need to. Play small or just go big. Have fun with it. This time, bring the back foot up and knee up off the floor, bringing your chest closer to the floor before you float back to your mermaid line. Big breath in. On the exhale, twist, rotate, floating that back leg up off the mat. Inhale and bring it back. Exhale, work your twist. Inhale, come back towards the center line and float into your butterfly line. As you find the bind with your ankles, wiggle closer, almost walking your bum closer towards your heels and find your little butterfly. Push down through the elbows. Use that weight of the elbows to open up softly through the groin. When you're ready, we're going to roll it back. Remember, if you need to modify, just place the soles of your feet on the mat and roll it down. Otherwise, keeping your butterfly line. Once you've settled into butterfly, find a neutral spine position and place your hands softly over the lower belly area, making sure to connect softly to the bottom ribs. Close your eyes, take your focus in, soften through your back line. Take a big breath in and balloon your belly up to the ceiling, feeling the lower ribs expanding gently out towards the side of the room at the same time. As you exhale, allow the lower ribs and the belly to sink in, almost as if they were trying to imprint to the mat beneath you. Big inhale and allow that belly to balloon up to the ceiling, keeping your chin line soft and finding your lazy smile as you work that release. Keep your movement soft, relaxed, and more restorative as you play on the mat today. Give me one more gentle belly breath. Find your smile. Gently open the eyes. Keep your butterfly position, floating the feet up off the floor, reaching through, maybe holding onto your ankles, nod your chin to your chest. Rock up. Find your butterfly, place the fingertips on the floor behind you, and softly nod forward, almost trying to bring your heels closer to your bum. Keep that belly button softly pulled in. You're going to sweep the legs underneath you and find your way back into child pose. We're going to work a little flow on the right. From child, come through 4-point kneeling and set up a down dog frame. Hands more or less shoulder width apart, feet more or less hip width distance apart, and find a nice push into both palms and feet. Connecting the whole hand and pushing through the whole hand and trying to surrender as much of your foot, your whole foot, to the mat as you can. From your down dog, transition through a plank line and give me an up dog. Come through the plank line with control. Keep your toes tucked under for this up dog. Don't whiplash and hang on the shoulders. So strong through the collarbones, push the collarbones down, retract through the shoulders, and brace through your core to protect your lower back. Find your way back into your down dog, and we're going to take it into a three-legged dog on the right. Bend the right knee and then gently kick up the right leg behind you. Bracing into both heels, and start off with your hips nice and squared to the floor. Let's arch the dog on the right. Bend the right knee, point the toes softly up to the ceiling. Open up the knee to the right, dropping the foot to the left as you gently arch through the back to peek over the left shoulder. Zipper up from the inside of your left ankle bone all the way to your sternum to protect your back, and give me a nice cheeky smile as you peek over your shoulder. Hold or find your way into a modified wild thing by dropping that floating right foot to the floor behind you, bringing your hips up softly to the ceiling as you ground through both feet, or maybe just give me a toe touch on the right foot, whichever works for you. Keep your hips up nice and high and find a lazy grin at the ceiling. From here, you're going to find your way into a warrior one line on the right. Come back to your original soft down dog frame and swing the right leg through, stepping up to the inside of the right leg. Scooch up your back leg so that it's slightly at a 45-degree angle, and as you peel up, float your hands into Jupiter Mudra, interlacing your fingers, bringing your index fingers together and crossing one thumb over the other. Float your mudra overhead and try to open up nicely through the legs, trying to keep your front knee softly tracking over your ankle as you lengthen, thinking of piercing the ceiling with both of your fingertips. Then let's revolve that warrior one line. Keep your right hand overhead and float the left arm behind you, maybe reaching for the inside of your inner thigh on the left leg and softly arcing, rotating through the forearm of the top arm so that your palm is looking down towards your face. Gently come out of it and bring your right leg in parallel, bringing both legs into parallel and holding more or less a nice open, almost a placenta-like line as you find a little star shape, giving me a T frame through the arms. Give me a big breath in and rotate your palms up to the ceiling, giving me a gentle smile as the palms look up to the ceiling. Inhale and rotate back through the forearms. One more time, big breath in. As you inhale, give me a beautiful, gentle smile. From here, you're going to find your way into a goddess line, bringing the feet slightly out. Think plie. If you can't come into a full plie, maybe 45, and give me a goalpost shape through the arms. Take a big breath in, and on an exhale, float the right elbow and forearm to your right thigh, floating the opposite hand overhead and bringing it as close to your ear as you can so that you can really stretch through the ribs. Give me a beautiful lazy smile and peek up to the ceiling. Bring it back to the center line and find your goddess. Gently rinse and repeat to the left, looking for that lazy smile as you rotate through the head. We're going to rinse and repeat, or you're going to take a little bind. As you connect the right arm to your thigh, come a little bit lower to the mat, feeding as much of the arm and the elbow through, back of the hand around your bum, wrap the left arm behind your back and try to give me a little bear grip behind your back, softly rotating and looking up to the ceiling, trying to drop your pelvis and your bum bones as close to the floor as you can. Inhale, come back along the center line, find your little goalpost and repeat on the left. Keeping with level one or tucking under, finding the bind underneath the legs and rotating softly through the top shoulder as you peek up and smile at the ceiling. From here, you're going to unbind, find your little goddess and then take a step to the front of the mat. Setting up a little tree line, Keep your current orientation on the mat. You're going to bend your left knee and just place the sole of the foot on the inside of the right leg, either keeping the big toe connected to the mat or sliding up just underneath your knees. You're going to find Jupiter Mudra in front of your heart. Finding Jupiter, gently float your Jupiter hands overhead and think of piercing the ceiling with your index fingers, but keep the collarbones nice and soft. Then open up through the arms, palms looking up to the ceiling as if you were celebrating the day. Float your way back to Jupiter Mudra. Step both feet together, flush along the midline of the body if you can, or open up the legs hip-width distance apart if you need to, as you sit back into a modified chair and bring the hands down in Mudra, holding that Jupiter as you give me weight into the bum and the heels. If this is too much for your knees, open up the legs and work maybe hip-width distance apart, but give me weight into your bum and your heels. Alrighty, give me a soft forward fold, trying to connect your hands to the mat if you can, and keeping the legs flush together. Gently rotate your head to the left, come back to the center, take it to the right. If connecting to the floor is not an option, maybe reach for your block, leaning into your block as you play, or maybe just place the hands on the top of your thighs. Play where you're comfortable. Give me that gentle release through your head, almost rotating and nodding side to side, and then soften through the knees and step back into your down dog frame. Settle into your down dog, push the floor away with your hands and your feet, gently piking your bum up to the ceiling. Give me a few more breaths here, then we'll transition through a plank line to hold an up dog. From Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog, you're going to come through your plank line, strong through the shoulders. Don't hang on the collarbones as you find your up dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, thinking of pushing off the floor with your tucked under toes and the palms of your hands. Transition and find your way back into a down dog frame, setting up a three-legged dog on the left. Bend the left knee softly and kick up the left leg behind you, bracing into the heels of both feet. When you're ready to play, arch the dog. Bend the left knee, point the toe up to the ceiling. Drop the foot to the right, open up the knee to the left, and softly arc to look over that right shoulder, giving me a playful smile. Find your inner imp. Stay here or find wild thing by dropping that floating leg to the floor behind you. Think of bringing up your hips towards the ceiling, either back toe on the mat or connect the whole foot, and gently just bring your hips up softly to the ceiling. Find a gentle smile as you rotate to look up towards that top palm. Ease your way back into your down dog. Swing through and find your warrior one line. Step up the back leg so that you're slightly at 45. Hands float into Jupiter Mudra. Open up through the legs, wiggle that back foot. Try to keep the weight bearing equal on the front and the back foot as you find your warrior one line. Then float the right arm behind you, reaching for the inside of your back thigh. Rotate through the top arm, or the forearm, rotating the palm in and looking up towards that palm as you find a gentle smile. From here, think of giving me a wide standing straddle on the mat, facing in the opposite direction this time, so I've got my back to you. You're going to float your hands up into a soft T frame. Inhale, rotate through the forearms. Even though the legs are long and extended, soften through the kneecaps, don't lock them out. Come back to your neutral position as you rotate through the forearms one more time. Big breath in as you rotate through the forearms. Find a gentle smile. Set up your goddess line from here. Think plie through the feet. Tuck your tailbone under, pull your belly button in. Big breath in and float softly to the right as you bring your left arm overhead. Come back to the center line, finding your gentle goddess before you float to the left. Rinse and repeat, or find your bind. Connect to that right thigh. Then think of softening through the right shoulder, tucking as much of the elbow and the arm through, back of the hand, connected to your bum. Wrap the opposite hand overhead, trying to bring your hands into a little bear grip as you sink your bum bones and make your tailbone heavy to the floor. Find a gentle smile as you peek up to the ceiling. Inhale to float back. Find your way into a soft goddess. And then replicate on side 2. Feeding as much of that bottom arm through as you can. Find a gentle bind and peek up to the ceiling, dropping your tailbone down towards the floor. Find your way back into goddess. And then gently take a step to the front of your mat and set up your tree line. Balasana on the right this time. Bend the right knee. Place the sole of the right foot on the inside of the left leg, either keeping the big toe on the mat or sliding up a little bit higher. Find Jupiter Mudra. Interlace the fingers, bring the index fingers together and cross the thumbs. Find a focal point on the wall in front of you. Take a big breath in and float your hands overhead. Think of piercing the ceiling with your fingertips, but keep softening through the collarbones and find a gentle smile. Feel it radiating from the inside out. Open up the hands, celebrating the day, palms looking up to the ceiling. Lengthen through your fingertips, soften through your neckline. Smile. Float back to Jupiter and step your feet together along the midline, or keep your feet hip-width distance apart as you sit back into a chair. Utkatasana. Wait until your bum and your heels holding that soft Jupiter before you fold forward, using the block modification if you need to, or maybe just bringing your hands up higher along the legs as you find the Uttanasana that works for you. Give me that little release and smile into the neck, rotating side to side to find that soft release. Keep your belly button softly pulled into the center line the whole time. The back chain of the legs is really tight. Maybe soften through the knees and extend dynamically, finding the release that works for you. When you're ready, you're going to find the kneeling frame that you began the class with. Using padding if you need to, underneath the knees, either giving me a high kneel with your hips stacking over your knees, or sitting back in Thunderbolt. Keep your current orientation on the mat. We're going to play with that little eyebrow release that we used in the beginning of the class. As you find your seat, tuck your tailbone under, pull your belly button in, lengthen through your spine. You're going to take the heel of your hand and place it over the heel of the arch of your eyebrow. Close your eyes, take your focus in, and gently wrap the fingertips over the crown of your head. Take a big breath in and softly pull the eyebrows up towards the ceiling. Think of a lightness coming over yourself. As you exhale, softly tug the skin down towards your cheeks and push with the fingertips on the crown of your head. Inhale to softly let go of that pressure on the crown and think of a beautiful soft smile beginning to peel over your face as you lift those eyebrows up. Exhale to softly release down and push softly with the fingertips on the crown of your head. Inhale to pull up. Find a steady rhythm of your own. Each time you gently tug up to the ceiling, making that smile progressively wider and wider till it seems like you're literally smiling from the inside out. Feel every cell of your body radiating with joy and thanks for the celebration that is life. Let's do one more, and I'd like you to end with the biggest smile that you can. Make it a megawatt smile and keep it with you for the remainder of the day, shining from the inside out for everyone to see. Namaste to you all. Thank you so much for coming out and playing with me today. I really hope that you enjoyed today's joyful sequence. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and remember to shoot your comments in the comments box below. Remember to subscribe with your notifications on, and I shall see you all for playtime on the mat on Monday. Have an amazing weekend.